transparent pages was a black page. So it didn't look like anything until you had a little piece of paper from the back that looked like a flashlight, and you stuck it between the pages, and it was a white circle that illuminated the deep sea creatures, which I think we can see has a direct connection to what we all do here today. So that's what I like, and that's my introduction. So whenever anybody else is ready, we can pass it down the line.
I can take over next. So my name is Kylie. I'm sitting in the Argus seat today. Happy to be here. And I just saw The Abyss recently. That's a great underwater technology movie. I don't know what took me 27 years to see it. Maybe the name Abyss scared me. I was like, yeah, no, not for me. But it's so cool. And it's like a, well, it's a happy ending. So enjoy. You're welcome. Michael?
Oh, sorry. Michael Hannaford, Herc pilot. Yeah, what is it? Dive number 3.
2.
2. Yeah, it is 2. God. All right, happy to be here.
Are you?
As always. They're long dives.
Steven, would you? Oh, when you're ready.
We skipped Steven.
We did.
He was busy.
He was doing his thing.
Hey, this is Steve. I am the video engineer sitting in right now. I'm from Boston. I work as a freelance camera operator. I work on a lot of wildlife documentaries. And what got me into that, I don't know, one of my earliest memories is turning over logs and rocks in my backyard, looking for salamanders.
It's the best.
And I think when I was about 17, Planet Earth came out, and I watched the whole series and watched behind the scenes, and at that point I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, and then I decided I wanted to make wildlife films.
Awesome.
And that's kind of how I got here, making underwater wildlife films now.
Very
Deep sea,
cool.
yeah.
We're happy to have you.
I'm happy to be here.
All right.
See this again?
Guess I'm up next. My name is Chris Jakes. I'm sitting in the navigator's chair currently. I'm on board as a navigation intern from the Coast Guard Academy. I'm going into my senior year. So I guess what got me into it, ever since I was young, I grew up on the water. So I always loved, boating and fishing and everything like that. But probably around 5th grade, one of our teachers actually took us to Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute.
Cool.
And I got to see some of the ships there. I got to see Alvin. I got to see some of the NOAA ships. And we actually went on board one of the NOAA ships, and they told me that they actually get movies from the government before they come out so they can watch them while they're underway. And of course,
That just sealed the deal.
who cares about science? That was it. But yeah, so throughout the years, I was like, oh, that's totally what I'm going to do. But then I found out about the Coast Guard and started heading more that direction. But what do you know? Now I'm out here basically doing both, doing the science and Coast Guard at the same time.
Super awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, so same thing for the movies for Coast Guard. Usually they're not before they come out, but we have way too many movies on board.
No such thing.
Do you have time to watch them?
No.
I was going to say, you guys have a lot to do.
Usually like transits, we'll be going out for a day, someone will put in a movie, and if you turn on the TV, it'll be the same movie for the next 2 weeks. But that's okay, because, movies are great the 27th time, too.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that.
My name's Kevin Conrad. I'm a marine geologist from Oregon State University. I didn't really get into science until I hit college. Actually, I've never imagined myself being a scientist or someone who went outside in nature growing up in New York City. But I did love the Museum of Natural History.
Oh, you grew up in
dinosaur
New York
bones.
City? I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Look at that.
exactly. And I got to see so many rocks.
They have quite a few.
They have one in Central Park. But I did get to go to the Museum of Natural History, see lots of dinosaur bones, and who doesn't get inspired by awesome fossils?
Yes. Very nice.
My name is Allison. I'm the watch lead here, and I work for the Ocean Exploration Trust. And inspirational book, is that what we're
Inspirational media, book, experience.
doing? One fish, two fish?
Yeah, anything. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I like that one.
No, I think when I was little, I loved Pippi Longstockings. So I've always loved a good adventure. When I was little, I would, like to get muddy and play in the creeks. My brother and I would build forts on the creek and just play and catch crawdads, and I grew up in the South, so. Yeah, used to kind of just pretend, make our own adventures, and still going on the adventures. Don't want to stop.
Awesome.
And I'm Jamie Wagner. I'm sitting in the data logger seat. I'm one of the science managers on board. I'm a deep sea biologist. I recently got my PhD. And
Heck yeah, good job.
thank you. And I've always been interested in nature. I didn't necessarily have a marine focus. I was interested in everything for a long time, but I always liked going on walks in the woods and occasional trips to the ocean. I didn't hone in exactly on marine science until after working for a few years after college. I always thought marine biology is a very impractical career, so I should try to do something more practical. And then I realized I wasn't enjoying what I thought would be a more practical career, and I should just do what I was interested in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I switched gears from neuroscience and genetics and that type of thing into deep sea marine field research, which I've enjoyed immensely, and I'm very happy about making that change. One of the things I thought was the most amazing thing I might have ever seen was at one point I was studying abroad in Australia, and we were snorkeling off part of some of the reefs there, and I saw my first octopus in the wild. And just watching its amazing ability to change color and flow across the bottom and blend in, it just blew my mind. And I'm still a huge cephalopod fan.
Yes.
But yeah, that was a really incredible and inspiring experience.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody, for that nice little round of introductions. And to everybody joining us on nautiluslive.org, welcome. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We are currently descending through the water column off of Palmyra Atoll. We are still in the Pacific Remote Islands Marine National Monument. So if you joined us on our first dive of this expedition yesterday, you saw us diving off of Kingman Reef. We did some transiting today towards this dive location, which is off of Palmyra Atoll. And we're going to actually be looking at some interesting enigmatic seafloor features that our geologists on board are interested in. So we're really excited to see what these features look like. We've got some sonar maps of them, some characterizations, but we're looking to get our eyes on there today. And we're hoping for interesting biology as well. I'm looking for deep sea corals, as we did yesterday. All of those things that hang out with them, like the brittle stars and the shrimps. And we saw some urchins and sponges. So we are surely in for another awesome dive here in the Pacific Ocean. And I encourage you all to send any questions that you might have to our question feed. I am in the van now, ready to answer your questions. That light should be green, if not now, any second now for you. And you can send in those questions to us, and we will do our best to answer them. So thank you
Yeah,
all
I'll go
for
ahead.
joining us.
Yeah, that's usually. That's
Yeah, I can try to switch it over, but I'd like to have it on my left so that the pilots can glance at it. Let me switch over real quick and see. Yep. Okay. Center. Nope, not working on.
Can you fix the
other
range on
monitor.
this? That's your micro strain thing.
Roger that.
Sure. Yeah. That's 10 meters per division. Yeah, some people, if you have it at, if you're looking for something really far away, you can go to 20, but 10's better.
You can wiggle as much as you want, Jamie. As long as they're tasteful wiggles. That's all we can hope for from Jamie Wagner. Got lots of people joining us today. We are just getting in the water now, and we're expected to dive for about 24 hours on this this dive today. So we'll be around. Can join us now and hang with us all day long. Whatever your day looks like, wherever you are in the world. It is 4:30 here.
Only 1,000 meters to go.
There we go. It's a third of the way there.
No, we're only going.
It's 15, 20, yeah, less than that.
Yep. We're halfway there.
Awesome.
Just like Bon Jovi said.
Right.
You guys can't make song references in the van because I am just so tempted
I know,
to sing them.
The galley's been playing that song so much the past couple of days. It's like been in my head for all week. Cables are looking good, Mike.
Yeah, everything's,
Yeah,
what was it like on launch? Any knocking out there?
I didn't hear a thing.
Good.
I don't think it started until we got fairly deep yesterday, though. Like
Okay.
past, maybe past 1,500.
Roger.
We've got a coral question coming in, Jamie. You want to try and do this one together? See if we can come up with an answer for these folks?
Bring it.
They said that they noticed in yesterday's dive a lot of spiral coral, which we did notice. A lot of those spiral coral we do know were Iridogorgia, which are the ones that have the spiral stalk and then those sort of very delicate looking polyps. But they were wondering if the left-handedness or right-handedness of those spirals has anything to do with species, or if we don't know, or anything like that.
That is a very interesting question, and I wish I could provide an answer. That's very much a Steve question, though, unfortunately.
I'm sure he's awake and listening.
Yeah, maybe he's listening.
Steve,
if not, maybe we can grab him at dinner and find out and belatedly get back to our viewer. But that is a very interesting question. I would like to know the answer as well.
Very cool. Yeah, I knew that the tightness of the spiral has something to do with species specificness based on Steve's talk the other day. But in terms of the direction, I do not know. Kevin, we got someone giving you specifically a shout out. It says, "Go Beavers."
Go Beavs. Thank you.
Yeah, so send your questions in if you got them. We still got some blue water to go. We'll be happy to, answer some things along the way. And then once we're on the bottom, we'll answer your questions about what we're seeing. And again, we're off of Palmyra Atoll here in the Pacific Remote Islands Marine National Monument. And you can read more about this expedition as a whole by going to nautiluslive.org and the expedition tab. You can not only read about our expedition that we're on right now, but the ones that we've already completed this season and the ones that we have coming up, because we have a lot coming up and we've done a lot of cool things already. We've got some viewers wondering about the visibility range at these depths. Not quite sure who would want to speak on that.
Kind of depends where in the ocean you are,
Yeah.
and what the productivity of that general region is. When we were diving pretty deep last night and yesterday, it was pretty much crystal clear. It was amazing.
That's what they commented on. They
But,
said that it was really beautiful.
Yeah, but there's definitely areas. I mean, we've got keep 15 to 18 meters between Argus and Hercules, and sometimes you can't even see Hercules below Argus because the visibility is so bad. But that's really mostly
slow down to 25.
Productive waters and or heavy sedimentation rates. So it kind of depends how close to shore you are, if there's runoff from shore, or if there's just a lot of schmutz in the water.
Schmutz. That's actually the name of one of my cats.
You named your cat Schmutz?
Didn't think I could like you anymore, Al. Well, just happened.
Well, she was the runt of the litter, and she just always looked a little dirty, and me and my roommate just decided to call her Schmutz. But we do call her Schmutzy or Schmutzu or Schmutzaloo, the whole range. My current cat is named Choo Choo. Like a train. No, thank you.
Let's see if you can try and bring Argus's heading around a bit. Just see if it'll make it.
Sure. What would you want me to match the ship?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's auto heading
yeah.
on.
Did everybody hear that we upped our allotment of rocks that we can sample?
I heard that.
Isn't that
did
exciting?
not hear
I did not hear
We
that.
can now collect up to 8 rocks.
Ooh.
Yeah, Kevin.
I called up, the government and started screaming.
He was really just complaining over breakfast. And
Yeah.
then it happened. That's great.
Awesome. So yeah, what we're referring to there, our allotment of rocks, is that we are in a protected area, the Pacific Remote Islands Marine National Monument. So we have specific permits on where we're going and what we can collect in these different regions to make sure that we're striking a balance between, not disturbing too much, not taking too much, and also getting what we need on the science side.
I can't quite get there.
So many thanks to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife
Yeah, a lot
Service.
of
Shout
current
out.
driving us sideways.
For increasing our arachment.
Oh.
Oh.
Too soon, too soon.
Have you been sitting on that one for the last 45 seconds that we've been talking?
Yep.
Do you guys want any movement from me? Or are you just gonna?
No, we're fine for now.
Okay.
And we are currently heading to about 1,520 meters depth for the start of this dive, for those wondering. And Jamie, we got another biology question.
I'm a little afraid after that last one. It was
It's not
it was
corals.
too good for me.
It's not corals. People are wondering about how closely related crabs and squat lobsters are.
Oh, okay.
All right, turn that
Well.
off. See what happens.
Okay.
Let's see.
You could say I don't know. It's fine.
They're both crustaceans. I don't know either, so.
I know that squat lobsters aren't actually lobsters; they are crabs.
Okay. So that's a big
That's good to
Yeah.
know.
piece of this
And
question. Yeah.
they're more closely related to hermit crabs and mole crabs than other types of crabs.
I can see that with their sort of weird body plans, sort of front heavy.
And that's about all I've got at the moment.
I think that's pretty good. I learned something there.
Phew. Okay.
You're doing great. So to our friends at home who are wondering about the squat lobsters, not lobsters.
But they're not crabs either?
They are
They-
a type of
They're a
crab.
type
Okay.
of crab,
Yes.
So
Closely related to hermit crabs, right?
yeah.
Yes, and mole crabs.
Did you already say that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
sorry, I spaced out.
And you know something funny about hermit crabs? When I'm at work, I often will bring down a bunch of fossils and shells to the museum floor during what's called Random Acts of Science, where I just have people come up and I just talk about all my favorite specimens. And it is very common for people to not realize that the shells that hermit crabs live in were all made by a mollusk. So that means they were made by a snail. The hermit crabs don't make those shells. They take them over from snails that have passed on and left their shells. So
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
exactly.
Has anyone ever seen the film where they have the shot of all these hermit crabs kind of like
Doing
getting
the
in line and getting ready for the swap, and they all leave their shell at the same time and rush like musical chairs to get
to the next larger size. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I forget
have
what
seen that
series
one.
that's in.
It's
It
like
might
Black
be.
Friday for snails.
It might be.
Or hermit crabs, sorry.
Yeah, throwing elbows. I think it's
Yeah,
in a series
yeah.
called Life.
That would make sense.
Might be on.
I'm
yeah,
not sure.
if anyone's
You can look it
interested
up
in that.
and
Yeah,
check
maybe
it
we'll look it
out.
up and tell people tomorrow.
yeah, you can also I bet if you Google hermit crab shell swapping, something similar, if not that video would
Yeah,
come
it's
up.
really cool. Check that out if you're at home.
Yeah, because they move into larger shells as they grow. So they'll abandon one, and a smaller crab will take it over. And it's that time again that we're going to hear a bit of shuffling in the control van as we get some coverage for dinner break. But you can still send in your questions, and we'll be going. We're still descending down off of Palmyra Atoll here in the Pacific Remote Islands Marine National Monument. And we're going to be diving here all day long, about 24-hour dive today, to explore some enigmatic seafloor features, some cones with moats around them, which we're really interested in getting some eyes on. And we're also interested in seeing the biology of these areas. So stay tuned for what I am sure will be a fun dive. Hey, Alicia. Just so you know, it's cool. I just wanted you to know, since you just got into the chair, that y'all are on quad view. I feel like a spy looking at you guys from my screen, even though I know you're right behind me. We're getting close. We're past 1,000 meters on our descent, and we're looking to get to about 1,520 meters for our dive today. So
Fish.
we should be...
Shark, fish,
Oh.
something. It's gone now.
Good eye.
Sharkfish.
Sharkfish, squid. I will take any of them. And we're expecting to see our deep water corals on this dive today. So if you were tuned in yesterday, you got to see a few different, a bunch of different species down on the seafloor. These invertebrate colonies that build up these structures on the seafloor. So we're expected to see those deep sea corals. We're also gonna probably expect to see some of those sponges that we saw, that we've seen on previous dives, and maybe some new ones. We're going to be seeing shrimps, I'm sure, maybe some squat lobsters, which we have recently all discussed and learned are crabs. And and possibly, well, definitely brittle stars, I'm sure we're going to see down here. Maybe some other sea star species. I'll cross my fingers to see another slime star. I love those things. And sea cucumbers.
Skipping dinner again?
We'll see. Maybe some jellies. I don't know, but I'm excited. We never know what we're going to see quite exactly until we get down here. And we're really excited that you're all tuned in to watch it with us. You know, the feed that you're seeing is live. So we're going down right now, and you're going down with us. So thank you for joining us as we explore off of Palmyra Atoll in the Pacific Remote Islands Marine National Monument. You want to ask anyone?
So I know we're diving near Palmyra moats. What does that mean? What does moats mean in this situation?
Yeah, so one of our co-leads, Dr. Rob Picalny from the University of Rhode Island, he spent a lot of time looking at these enigmatic seafloor features that he's called moats. So these are little cones coming up off of the seafloor. They're, somewhere usually between 1 to 6 kilometers or 1 to 5 kilometers wide, with a moat around the outside. So it's a cone poking up out of the seafloor and then a depression in a ring around it.
Okay.
And so these occur kind of all over the world in different spots. And there's some different ideas of how they've formed. But there's 2 main ideas of how the ones have formed here. And so getting a look at them will really help Rob have a better idea of whether it has something to do with currents on the seafloor sort of swirling around the cone and kind of depressing the area below it.
Yep.
Or it could have something to do with what's called dissolution, which is where water from underneath the seafloor is actually leaching the minerals from right at the base of the cone and sort of leaving this depression.
And so how...
Yes, delusionment does
sorry, go
lead
ahead.
to depression.
Thanks for that. Is that Rennie? Wah, wah, wah.
So how deep would these depressions be compared to the height of these cones? Do we know? Is it
I have that
consistent?
written down somewhere. About 50 to 120 meters depth on the depressions, and then about 500 meters height on the cones.
So pretty substantial.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So we'll see. Thanks for asking.
If the viewers at home are kind of curious what they look like on a topographic map, you can if you can have Google Earth, you can go to Palmyra Atoll, and we're right to the southeast. You'll see a flat little land with a bunch of bumps with little moats around them. And that's where we're going to be. And actually, it's a pretty decent map.
So we can just see that on Google Maps?
Yeah.
Awesome.
If you have the satellite turned on or Google Earth.
Very cool. Got another bio question if my science row would like to chime in. Remember, I can see you.
Well, as a geologist, I can answer the question. It will not be correct.
We've got some viewers wondering if all starfish invert their stomachs to feed, or if there's other feeding modes.
I'm going to interpret that as starfish being the...
Sea stars.
Yeah, sea stars.
Sorry there.
Yes, they all...
Spicy back
from what I can tell, yes, they all evert their stomachs. But yeah, that's what they feed on may vary, and how they do that may vary, depending on if they're deposit feeders, if they're feeding in the sediment, taking organic material out of the sediment, or if they're eating, say, some tissue, or if they're eating something bigger, like a I don't know, like a bivalve or something, a clam. That seems to be the case.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's evert is when they're ejecting
Yeah.
their stomachs from their bodies.
Yes.
Their sea star bodies.
Lovely.
We saw on the last cruise I was on, there was a sea star that was doing that to a little branch thing on the seafloor, but it just looked like Patrick Star just like sitting up, because it's two of its legs were kind of sticking up, sitting like a person. It was really funny. It's really funny.
That's sometimes observed, and it's sometimes interpreted as being a spawning posture.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the idea being that if they're going to release gametes into the water column, to hopefully fertilize with another individual, that the higher up you are before you release those gametes, the more success they'll have at dispersing.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So yeah, so if you ever see a sea star or even a sea cucumber perched up in a really peculiar way, that might be what they're doing.
Interesting. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it does. You had to do a shift then you can change the iris down here now, so you can open and close it.
So see how this was since we came in, you came in around here, right? And then you gave it some forward way.
Yeah.
It's enough that when we land, you're gonna, like Argus will eventually sink back here.
Okay.
So you just anticipate chasing it back.
Roger. Guys, we're about 150 meters from the bottom.
Roger.
12 to 4 watch. We'll get maybe the bottom.
For a little
steal
bit.
the bottom from you guys.
For a moment. So yeah, viewers at home, we're getting close to the seafloor here as we explore off of Palmyra Atoll in
Iris
the
too close.
Pacific Remote Islands Marine National Monument.
There you go. I'm gonna take off a little bit of that forward stick there and ready, so we can get it to swing back a little bit better.
Yeah. In general, I mean, I liked that you gave it some forward because it was kind of loosey, you know, on the way down.
Yeah.
Because then it eases, I think, everyone's mind to see the tether taut.
Yes, definitely.
But then the trade-off is it pulls it. We can actually pull Argus quite a bit.
Yeah. For that one?
I did.
Yeah, it's at 3 now. I'm gonna change the range on this guy here real quick. All right. Ooh, that's a crisp image. So I'll stop at 50 meters again. Roger.
Yeah, it was nice getting back on the deck today. I haven't done the deck in 2 years.
Oh, look at that.
And
Have
I was
fun?
like, I kind of remember how to do this.
4 beams already.
I went back on training again.
70 meters, yep.
Very nice. So what were you doing?
I was helping with the cable, or the tether that connects between Hercules and Argus. We have to wear like special gloves and then put it over the side because it's like looped on the back.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that's done, we release the
That one's
rope that's connecting Argus to the deck. And then we just pan it out because the Argus doesn't go like swinging off the back of the deck, which
That's
is a good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
So
Awesome.
All right, Dan, you want to start slowing down there? And you're about 5 meters off. Okay. And you can go ahead and count and I'll stop there. And I will. All right. Great, I'm gonna come down a bit and I'll boogie backwards.
Jess, I'm going to give you an on-the-fly DVL set, Jess, and then we'll do another one at the bottom.
Sure thing.
So now you can,
Yeah, primary
especially because we don't have the down cam, it'll be more easily to see.
Okay.
How we're.
That'd be great. Thanks, Rennie.
Yep. Turn all this other stuff off.
Yeah, go ahead and kick into your auto heading there if you want. Roger. All right, I'm going to back up a little bit more and you can go ahead and turn your head to face me. All right, you can go ahead and turn your heading to me. No, we're at 0, so you can do as you will. Roger. No worries. You want to keep coming around? Oh, it's just a little slow. Roger. There we are. I see ya. Woohoo! All right. You happy? Roger. All right, I am ready to go down when you are. All right, coming down. Roger.
Gauge check complete. Descending.
Like the officialness of the gauge checks.
All good.
Oop, too much of a tug
Do you
there,
have
sorry.
a meters per minute preference there?
No, we're just
How about
cruise
10?
on down. Yeah, 10 sounds good.
10 meters a minute. Is that porch light gonna bug you? Should I turn it back off?
Yeah, it's all right.
Fine with it on?
Yeah, we'll have to turn it on for the MNIPS white balance anyway.
Argus altimeter kicking in at 43 meters.
Roger.
Sorry, Argus altimeter 2. I like that. You get the trend.
Yeah, it's nice. It shows like your change in elevations and also shows the heaves of the ship. Okay. I think I can see the sand ripples coming up there. Yeah. Bottom's in sight. Valet service we are. totally, yeah.
Bottom is in view.
Valet.
Bottom's in view. We have a fish right off the bat.
Your chariot is ready.
It's going away from us, unfortunately.
Hey, Navigator.
Yes.
The internet's wondering how your hand injury is coming along. They'd heard there was a coconut incident on the back of the ship.
How did they hear about that?
Wood gets around in the Pacific.
Twitter.
Yes. Yeah,
Twitter.
Carrier pigeon.
Your mother's worried. She wants to check in.
What?
I called.
Chris lost a fight to a coconut, everyone.
Yes. We so kindly received coconuts at our stop at Palmyra. And turns out that using brute force to open them often causes injuries to the hand. But it is healing fine already, bandaged, clean. So
But
I'm doing fine.
how does the coconut look?
The coconut did break open, and I did eat most of it. So, but I returned it to the sea.
Excellent.
I'm glad that my my health is of concern to the internet. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that question actually came in from Japan, which is strange.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you. I thought it was actually my mother. Unless she took a last-minute flight.
Maybe so. Actually made all of that up, but thanks for the story.
Wow. Okay. Ouch.
It's time for me to go to bed.
Seeing
Is
some
that it?
fish,
You'll
maybe
like fish?
Yeah. So I see 3 fish.
3? I see 2. Where's the other one?
Still in the back. There's a big guy.
Yep,
Oh,
just a
yeah.
shadow. Oh,
Okay.
there comes a shrimp.
And a beautiful shrimp.
Yes, we are on DVL. While you guys do video, if you hold it in Auto XY, I can get some targets for a good reset.
Roger.
Yeah, a lot of fish. 2 more.
Yep, video's ready for white balance whenever you are ROV.
Roger, stand by 1 for that. Good. Come down a bit more. Come down to about 4 meters or so.
Roger that.
All right. It's looking good. Can you make sure your camera is racked in all the way? So if it says pan and tilt on the rocker here, just push back on it.
I think we're going for a walk on the beach tonight.
Yeah, eh?
Seems like.
Hey, arm's coming out.
Thanks. I just pushed Argus camera in past the vignette just a bit, so you know.
Sounds good.
Shadow puppets in the Argus view.
Okay, so can you move the camera up so he can zoom in on that white patch there?
Oops. Sorry. Okay.
Coming in. If it's possible, could we get it a little more centered?
Yep.
Thanks.
Oopsie.
Okay.
So your Z bias, I see you're floating up a little bit. So then I can just put more bias on.
We're going to go dark
Just
for a
watch
moment.
it, that's all. Roger. No, it just it makes the thruster spin more or less in that direction. No, it's not like gain. It's
Okay, thank you, Kylie.
Roger. Yeah, take it out of Auto XY. Whenever he wants to do a DVL reset, you don't want to be in Auto XY.
Yeah, if we can just hold it for a minute, I'll get enough pings that I can get a good fix, and I'll reset it for you. I'll let you know before I do it.
Sounds good. I'm out of Auto XY.
Take some gauges. Or did they do them? No, you did them.
Alrighty. We seem to be pretty good. But I'll reset it all the same.
Would it be okay to zoom in 1 or 2 clicks with the camera to get rid of that ring?
Just hold off on the zoom.
Okay.
So your pan and tilt, take that out all the way, or rack it out. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, if you're all set to come off autos, I'll reset it for you.
I am off auto. I have my auto depth on. Is that okay?
Turn it off just in case while he's doing that, because it's the same button for Alt, and
Okay.
that's the issue.
Okay.
Alright.
You're good to go. Oh, sorry. Is red?
Green is on, red is
oh,
off.
my bad, my bad. Okay.
Alright, all
Thank you.
set. Resetting. And you're good.
Okay, thank you.
Alrighty. Well,
Can we do a slight zoom on Herc just to try and get rid of those lens flares?
Is that for me or for
No,
Steven?
that's for video.
Steven, and then
Yep.
you
But he's got to get
You've
your
gotta approve
okay.
it.
You need
Yes.
your
Can you
Right.
please, Steven?
Will do.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We still have a little flare kind of
Yeah, it's
left
just
center.
so much sediment. It's going to be pretty bright. Let's find some hard rocks.
All right.
That's where we're headed.
I'm ready to move if everyone else is ready to go.
I think we'll be ready in a second.
Roger that.
Yeah, let me just do the gauge check quickly, and then you can have this camera fly on.
I feel like we're in one of those Zen gardens that you rake.
Exactly.
And those marks on the seafloor, we're looking at probably flow patterns and also some bio movement,
Yeah.
I think.
So the ripple marks are from the deep sea currents, which seem to be pretty strong in this area. And then, yeah, there's some kind of, I guess it's not bioturbation. What's the German word you had for it?
Lebenspuren.
Lebenspuren.
Ooh.
Bioturbation.
Yeah. Or
So
bioturbation.
Basically mixing up the sediment by animals, right?
I think Lebenspuren refers specifically to tracks or other marks on the seafloor left by biological organisms.
And interestingly, this is the same kind of feature we were on yesterday when we were on the flat portions, but there was no ripple marks, or very few ripple marks, and lots of manganese nodules. Here there's no nodules and lots of ripple marks, so you can see the effects of stronger and weaker deep sea currents.
So a fast current is going to kind of stop that manganese from precipitating out.
Fast current and also maybe a high sedimentation rate.
Mm-hmm.
And where we did see ripples last night, it was a sharp contrast between the...
Yeah.
Like
basically, as soon as you saw those
yeah,
ripples, there was no
really
manganese
cool.
nodules.
We have a belated answer to our coral question from the descent.
The spiral question?
Yes, so we had a question about whether certain species had their coral spiral in one direction versus the other, left or right. And I talked to our resident coral expert on board, and he said, oh, do you want to, are you ready to move?
We're ready to move.
Alrighty.
To be continued.
Suspense.
Alright, so we're looking at 094 degrees true and have just under 2,400 meters to go.
Go ahead.
Bridge nav. Request 30 meter step bearing 095. Thank you.
I see a shape.
We're headed all the way up there with a brief stop to check out anything at the bottom. All right, we are on the move. Depending on pacing, I can track a line as we get moving, if that works for you guys.
Oh, sorry, I was off comms. Yeah, we'll do a line once we get moving. There you go.
Okay, so coral. So our resident coral expert said that typically the spiral corals have a clockwise orientation to their spiral, and he couldn't think of any offhand that had a counterclockwise spiral that he's encountered.